Our Santa Barbara and Solvang trip. After too many months of lockdown, this was our first actual vacation in so long we couldn't even remember. We drove 8 hours from a hot and storming Phoenix to a cool, beautiful Santa Barbara at the Franciscan Inn and Suites, which is a short walk or jog to the beach. The walk to the beach was beautiful, and so was the beach and the boats in the harbor. Our first day was a trip to Solvang, and a must-stop for us was Paula's Pancake House. We hadn't been there in 14 years, but we all remembered how much we liked it, and it didn't disappoint this time either. After breakfast, we had to kill some time until 11 a.m. for wine tasting, and so we checked out a few shops, including Solvang Spice Merchant, where we smelled and bought some amazing spices, Renaissance Antiques, where we saw some extremely expensive clocks and music boxes, Solvang Toyland, which was underwhelming, the Sock Harbor, which was amazing. It had tons of funny, cute, and crude socks. In an unexpected twist, both Rita and I got hats. Neither of us have really been a fan of hats, but we wanted sun protection, and we found a couple of hats we didn't think looked too bad. Our first stop wine tasting was Tocatta, which is part of Lucas and Lewellen and a remake of Mandolina. Lucas and Lewellen and Mandolina were a couple of our favorites last time, so we had to stop by them first this time. The service and atmosphere and wines were all great at Tocatta, and the same could be said for Lucas and Lewellen. Our next stop was Buttonwood Farm Winery and Vineyard. It was another revisit. The property is amazingly beautiful, and their name is fun to say when you've had a few tastings. Next stop was Beckmen Vineyards. It was recommended to us by the server at Tocatta. We're glad we stopped by because it was our favorite tasting. It was the only tasting that gave us any sort of food, and we got to take away our tasting cups as a souvenir. Not to mention that the service and wine was outstanding as well. Not only was our server great, but the owner talked to us for a bit. It was a great experience. Next, we tried to stop at Brander, but got turned away at 4:45 when tastings ended at 4:30. So we went to Roblar, who welcomed us to their outdoor seating. Their tastings had ended as well, but that didn't stop us from getting glasses to try on our own. The outdoor area was new to us, and it was beautiful. It was a great, chill place to end our tasting tour. For dinner, we had reservations at Zaytoon, a Lebanese food restaurant. I had never had Lebanese food, so I was skeptical. But everything we got was delicious, the drinks and the food. The dining area was a very romantic setting with fire pits at each table. But being from Phoenix, I was still a bit cold. Later that night, we walked to the harbor and enjoyed the view lit by the full moon. The next morning, we went to Helena Avenue Bakery. We had done some research, and this was recommended the most. We definitely know why. The food was amazing. I had the green eggs and ham, and they were really good. After that, we went to the beach to meet up with a couple of John's coworkers that live in California. We hung out at the beach and chatted for a bit. Threw the football around.
Hey! Look out, try it like this. Try an underhand adjustment.
Oh, sir?
It wasn't harder, it just happened to go.
And we got our feet in the ocean.
Yeah, that's cold.
Are you done? That's it?
Later that night, we had reservations at Bouchon. John got the duck he had been wanting. Rita got lobster pot pie, but the best of the night was the Wagyu ribeye seasoned beautifully that I had. It tasted amazing. After that, we went to the same area of the beach that we had been 14 years prior to take some comparison photos. The next morning, we tried Scarlett Begonia. The food was pretty good, and the drinks were okay. The best part was the nice outside location to sit and enjoy the weather. Later that day, we went to the beach, and John and I actually got in the water. It was cold, but we did it.
Once you actually get all in, it's not that bad.
Lies.
I'm not even shivering.
Take that. Couldn't let you do it alone, man.
Right.
Later on, we came back to the pool to swim in a bit warmer water and hang out in what shade we could find. That night, we ate at Finney's where there was a bit of a wait, and they sat us outside on display, but the food was amazing. After dinner, we tried to go wine tasting, but we started a little too late, and the only place open was Paradise Springs Winery. The place was nice enough, but we only liked one wine, and that was a bonus wine that wasn't even in their lineup. Right next door was a tiki bar called Test Pilot. The place was packed, but John and I braved our way through the crowds and waited and waited and waited for our drinks. Meanwhile, Bouchon and Rita were being attacked by bugs. When we finally did get our drinks, they were good, but we didn't want to go back in and wait for another round. The next morning, we went back to Helena Avenue Bakery again because the wait at Chad's was ridiculous. It was just as good as the last time. I got the wildflower honey ricotta on sourdough toast and the hollow French toast, and this time Rita got the green eggs and ham. Eventually, our trip came to an end.
Okay. I'm in the back. Make sure you see Chit Chat and Salsa when it comes out.
Yes.